Qbiss One is architectural facade system with unrivaled design and performance. It is a complete system, available in various colors and joint options, including corner elements, trims and flashings and all accessories required for completion of the facade. A lot of efforts were put into development of the system to achieve a clean look with no visible fixings and top thermal performance and fire resistance. Qbiss One facade elements are made of state-of-the-art materials and fabrication processes. Composite elements are made of non-combustible mineral wool core to achieve fire resistance up to EI 120, and a metal face with a special forming process of closed element corners with no cut edges to achieve highest level of corrosion and weathering resistance for long-lasting building performance, with a warranty. Facade elements can span up to 6.5 meters and can have a width from 0.6 to 1.2 meters. The system is designed as single span, so the elements are fixed only at each end, and the fixings are hidden within the joint. Structural supports are needed only at joints, where facade elements are fixed. There is no need for a wall or additional substructure in between. Floor slabs can be used as supports in cases where the elements are vertically laid, as shown in this video. Additional supports for fixing are needed around openings and on bottom and top of the elevation. As a fully prefabricated system, the facade elements are delivered to construction site ready to install, and with integrated thermal insulation on all element joints, to avoid errors on site, and to assure top thermal performance and fire resistance. The elements are fixed with fixings which are hidden within the fixing joint. Typical fixing joint configuration is made by an integrated thermal insulation on one element, and on next element, by an overlap with integrated load-bearing fixing washers. Number of load-bearing fixing washers is defined according to structural calculation. There can be from 3 washers, as shown, or up to 6. Fixing washers are factory applied, so the installers know exactly how many fixings are required in the joint. The joint is finished with insertion of gasket and decorative extrusion to hide the fixings and seal the joint and the facade. The gasket needs to clip into load-bearing fixing washers when inserted. During installation, in addition to main fixings, each element needs to be fixed through internal face for transfer of self-load. And sealant applied is shown to assure air tightness. Vertically laid elements allow installation either from left to right or from right to left, as appropriate. The elements need to be produced with correct fixing joint configuration on each end for proper water drainage, and this is defined by element type. Generally, element type 1 is used for vertically laid installation. Element type 2 is not used for vertically laid installation and some others also not. Element type 3 can be used in first row if preferred, and other types are used as needed. Tolerances for installation of the elements are defined as shown for each joint respectively. Preparation of structure or substructure is a key part in installation of prefabricated system. Tolerances for installation of Qbiss One are defined as ± 2 mm. This is applicable to deviation from horizontal level around the building, and deviation of supports from the facade line, and deviation of support from adjacent supports. As we all know, there are always deviations between designed and as-built, which might impact installation of prefabricated system, but the key is in preparation for installation, with on-site measurements of as-built and definition of horizontal and vertical set out. And to circumvent the deviations, we recommend use of falls, fast adjustable leveling substructure, to assure the tolerances required for installation of the system. Falls is a simple bracket and rail system which allows fine adjustments, and it is made of cold-formed galvanized steel. Since we have now covered the basics of Qbiss One facade system, let us demonstrate all installation steps, in depth, on a demo installation wall. First things first. Please thoroughly check comprehensive Qbiss One installation guide. It is provided in the installation kit with specific tools for the installation. First step for installation of falls, fast adjustable leveling substructure is a dimensional check of main structure and a horizontal and vertical set out for installation, according to installation drawings. It is recommended to mark the axes and levels for installation, for easier reference. Installation of falls starts with an installation of brackets in a proper layout. Then the rails are inserted into the brackets and aligned according to set out and fixed horizontally to achieve a flat plane for installation of Qbiss facade elements. Installation of base detail starts with an angle fixed to main structure. Install it horizontally, within the tolerances, as all other elements will follow it. Install secondary angle, and align it, then lay a drip flashing on the angle. Apply sealing tape, 1 stripe under each element and sew 2 stripes on each support and on a base detail and elsewhere as per detail drawings. Prior to installation, mark positions of the elements according to elevation drawings to assure proper positioning of the elements and to prevent deviations across elevation. Follow element reference numbers as shown on the drawings, packing labels, and as printed on each element to install the elements correctly. Cut a notch on bottom part of the element so it can be placed onto drip flashing. Remove protective film from both sides of the element prior to installation. Install first element on base support and place it onto drip flashing. Make sure the element is oriented with a thong on the left and groove on the right side. Position it according to set axes and make sure it is level on top. Insert an angle which will support top elements behind the element. Use spacer plates and position at 27 mm above element edge. Then fix an angle in the element through internal steel sheet for transfer of self-weight on one side and the other side. Place next element on base support and continue with installation, either to the left or to the right. Use installation crosses and joints junction to assure proper joint dimensions and position the element. Align the element with previous elements and make sure is level. Fix each element on both sides and fix support angle at same time. Place a piece of butyl tape on top of each vertical joint. Be careful not to close a drain hole. Glue it to the steel sheet at each end. Continue with installation of elements on top of former elements. Place and position the element. Align it with former lower element and assure it is leveled and within set position. Use installation crosses. Insert support angle on top if there will be elements above and fix the element on both sides. Fix both elements with main fixings in the fixing joint. Use one fixing for each fixing washer. Be careful not to over-tighten the fixings. Use a spirit level to check flatness at joint. After installation of facade elements, seal fixing joint with insertion of gasket and decorative extrusion. Assemble gasket and decorative extrusion before they are inserted into the joint. Apply soapy water with spray bottle onto assembled gasket and into the fixing joint to reduce friction and easier insertion. Insert the gasket into fixing joint, starting from one side, and continue to the other side. Assure that the face of the extrusion remains parallel to the face of facade element and that the gasket is not rotated or twisted. Manually push the gasket into the fixing joint as deep as possible. Then use a wooden bar and a hammer to fully insert the gasket with extrusion to approximately 25 mm deep. The gasket needs to clip into load-bearing fixing washer and need to be flush with longitudinal joint. Gasket should be continuous through the whole length of fixing joint. If required, it can be extended with a 45-degree cut and a joint glued with EPDM glue. Decorative extrusions are in length up to 4 meters and must be assembled into the gasket with 10 mm expansion slot. When connecting gasket and decorative extrusion, always assure at least 500 mm overlap and do not join them at same point. Install flashings and other items to finish the works. Install top parapet cap. Use additional load-bearing fixing washers and fixing joint as needed. Insert gasket and extrusion wherever needed. And finish the installation. This video showed basics of Qbiss One Vertical installation. For horizontal installation of Qbiss One, as shown on the right side, see another video. For further guidance, check Qbiss One installation guide available on our website or contact us.